Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Indeed, that fucking thing does suck. Don't you agree, Bobby?
Yeah, it does. It sucks.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Bill,
William.
for saying
Thank
the
you,
opposite of what the podcast is, because he says this fucking thing sucks, and we know he means the opposite. This is the best podcast ever.
Billy Boy says quite a lot of things.
Yes. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. It's been a while since I've been live, and I was definitely healthier last time I was live. I was ready to go. Like, I woke up yesterday morning, I was like, I feel kind of shitty, but like, I'll go ahead and roll with the podcast. I was snowed in anyway, because I already called up work. I was like, I'm not coming in, putting a paid day for me. But then I woke up feeling kind of shitty, and then as time podcast got closer, I was like, wow, I feel way worse. So last minute, Bobby was cool pushing it back, and here we are, and I feel better today. I don't feel good, but I feel better. Took a paid day today because I'm sick. Get to go to work tomorrow, but hey, rolling through, man. And we do have
fluids and vitamin C, my friend.
Yes, true. And we have kind of a big podcast. It's been 2 weeks since our last show. We got a whole bunch of new stuff to cover. We're top out Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a little bit. We each have stories about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And we will get to it when we cover it, which will be first up, because you gotta take what we're gonna say with a grain of salt. And then we're gonna talk about Squid Game season 2, which I have things to say about that. Yes, I have things. And then we'll carry on with What If. Something else I have stuff to say about. And then we'll wrap up with Doctor Who. Something I have stuff to say. I guess I normally have stuff to say, but like, when I say I have stuff to say, it's usually when I'm saying I essentially, it's a way of me shorthanding saying I have complaints.
It's your way of saying you need to speak to a manager.
Yeah, it's like, typically it's me saying this isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but this is,
and this would be what I would say. This is what I would say to most of those.
No. Let me go ahead and bring this up here. I do have second screen ready to go here. So we'll go ahead and talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3's. Bobby, I think your story on this is a bit shorter, so tell your Sonic the Hedgehog 3 story.
Okay, so obviously the holidays, super busy.
Yes.
And trying to rush everything this week for the show was a gauntlet. Because I think I watched about half of the required watching in one day.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Yeah, I did all of What If and the half of Squid Games.
Okay, yeah, Squid Game's probably the biggest one. It's got
Like about,
be.
but it made it to about 4.
Mm-hmm.
But
Then,
yeah. So, but that was Sunday, and I was thinking, okay, I could finish the rest Sunday, but I could go Monday morning, day of the show. I can go to watch Sonic. That way, it'll be the freshest in my head because I know we would probably like today start with it and go. Now, I was watching that storm roll in and hit Ohio, where Bob and I both are. I mean, the
yeah.
Scarlet and Gray shouldn't mean anything, but you know.
Mhm.
Sorry, I was reading a comment.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So, but usually, whenever like something like this is about to hit Columbus, the capital area where I'm at, for those who aren't aware, they always hype it up way worse than what we actually get.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
and so that's statewide, even with you too, all the way out near Miami of Ohio, like like near the college there. Okay, so like, yeah, but also whenever these really cold pockets of storms hit and they get to the capital city, there's like a lot of general hot air stuck in that area. Um, Literally, not figuratively. Well, that too, but it will like hit that and it'll automatically like heat the system up, but like take away from the chill and away from the snow, so we never get really hit that hard in the city. Like it has to be a major storm cell moving through to hit us like that, kind of like this one was.
Yes.
And they kept pushing back the time it was going to be hit and how much snow we're going to get hit. So they kept doing that, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be like just like every other time. I'm going to be able to go and do that, and it'll be cool because we still had a bit of snow on the ground. Nothing bad. Nothing like not manageable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got snowed in as well. So I was
Yeah,
unable to watch any of Sonic. I watched a few different reviewers, but some of them were I guess overly biased.
I don't know. I know my son's all into Sonic stuff, so I've seen some of the Sonic stuff he's put on almost in the background. I will say I saw around 80% of this movie. I went to a theater. I want to say it was early on. It was probably like Tuesday while I was texting the kid. I was like, "Hey, you guys want to come see Sonic 2 tonight?" And of course, my son was like, "Yeah." And my daughter's like, "Yeah, sure." So we went to see Sonic 3. We were a couple minutes late, so well, we're walking in, and apparently the Sonic and Knuckles and Tails are doing a race, and according to my kids who had already seen the movie, I missed the big shadow breakout, which was just a couple minutes at the beginning, so I did miss that. But then we're seeing them race, and it's going fairly well. I'm watching the movie. I'm enjoying it for the most part. I am down for this movie. Big thing I will tell you about this movie is, God, my big issue with the second one and the first one was that the human characters and their resolution to that was to give those characters almost no story time except for Ivo Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik, which Jim Carrey barely counts as a human character. So I don't know if that really counts. He's kind of a cartoon.
Range of playing like very serious and dramatic roles quite well.
Oh yeah, no, he's actually a very good actor in my opinion.
And
but yeah,
he's just playing a living Looney Tune.
Yeah,
like that is his range as an actor.
But Tom and Maddie are the ones the most noteworthy role, and the really noteworthy thing about their role was that they were called in to help sneak into a gun laboratory. And pretty much that's it. Their role is to help out Sonic and Tails. It's definitely a Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles story with Shadow as the antagonist and the Robotniks. And I was really, really enjoying it. And then getting to a bit of spoilers, we get to the ending. We have freaking Super Sonic and Super Shadow charging at each other in space. It's epic. It's cool. And then the screen freezes, sound cuts out, and then the screen goes blank, and the movie theater loses power.
I was gonna say did they Rocky 3 you?
Yeah.
They just give you the
Yeah.
Rocky 3 ending?
Yeah. So that's as far as I got. The movie did eventually come back on with no sound, so I got to see silent versions of the rest of the movie. I kind of did want I got a full refund, so I can't really complain. I did want to go back and watch it, but I didn't get a chance to. With my son, I'm going to be seeing it on streaming, and I feel like I got the vibe of it. And pretty much my vibe of it is if you like the Sonic movies, and the only thing that bugs you about the Sonic movies are the human stories, well then guess what? This is the Sonic movie for you. This is what I saw was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought Keanu Reeves did a good job as Shadow. Um, like if it's Sonic, it's not great art or anything, but it's fun. What I saw was fun, and I am looking forward to sitting back and watching it in the comfort of my own home without having to worry about the technical difficulties of a power outage at a movie theater. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like I said, I wish I'd gotten more. Um, um, I wish I'd gotten a chance to actually see the ending, really. But like, well. I saw some people talk about Kristen Ritter, who did play Jessica Jones, and she does a significant role in this. I'd say she probably has almost as much time as probably Tom or Maddie, which is to say, not a massive role, but like she's there, and she's good. I like Kristen Ritter as a general role as an actress. Um, yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed this. I guess the other thing I kind of wanted to hit on, since I didn't quite see all this, but I did have my son with me for a long time this week. We did end up taking a little side trip and watching that Knuckles series. And I will add, if the human characters were something you don't enjoy in the Sonic movies, that Knuckles series definitely isn't for you, because that is like that is all about the human characters, with Knuckles as like a supporting character. It is really not great in my opinion. It wasn't like, I've seen worse, but it's definitely false advertising in my opinion. Sonic 3 is definitely better. At least what I've seen of Sonic 3, which is pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the first two. Like, I didn't hate them as much as I thought I would. I'll admit that. I thought I would absolutely hate it, because the way I first saw it is like, oh, great, it's James Marsden with another CGI character.
God, yeah. And let's face it, video game movies at that point were not getting a good track record. And that's the thing. So, like, none of these Sonic movies, I'd argue, are great art, but they're fun. They're kind of almost, I almost want to say, like, as good as they can be. It's like, you're not going to get great art, but you're going to have fun.
I was also more of a Mario guy. So, I mean, I didn't have a lot of excitement going to see Sonic.
Although I will say I enjoy these Sonic movies.
I enjoyed the games. I just didn't have a Sega.
But yeah, I'm right there with you as far as not growing up with a Sega. I had Nintendo growing up, so
yeah.
But yeah, these are good movies. I enjoy them.
Yeah,
for what they are. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No. I didn't
maybe someday I will come back with a
yeah.
Maybe when this actually like.
Yeah, like I mean, after if I'm able to make it to the theater while it's still there, or if it hits Paramount, I'll watch it and then I'll talk more about it. But yeah, we could do a Redux cut.
Yeah, true. But speaking of streaming, although I guess everything here is streaming. Squid Game season 2. I'll go ahead and open this up, because I'll go ahead and talk about Squid Game season 1 a little bit, because I loved Squid Game season 1. I like its critique of capitalism, how it kind of forced people into like an impossible situation where they're doing fucked up things just to pay off debts. A really cool premise for a one-shot TV show that now has a second season, and it hinted towards having a second season at the end of the first season.
Oh, really? Because it didn't hint at anything at the end of this one.
So essentially, yeah, it's at the end of season 1. It's indicating a season 2, and that was probably my biggest complaint of season 1, because it kind of sets up this thing where like the main guy is gonna go in and destroy the Squid Game, and I'm like, okay, so like we do understand that the Squid Game is kind of like I'm trying to think of the best word for it, but it's a metaphor for capitalism and how people are treating capitalism, just doing whatever is needed for money. That's what Squid Game is at its best.
Yeah.
And season 2, I want to say, like, I enjoyed it, but like it's becoming less about the actual capitalism metaphor and more about just beating the Squid Game. And it's like, okay, I get that Squid Game is evil, but like I much more like the idea of like thoughtfully looking at the environment that creates Squid Game instead of just going in and defeating the Squid Game. But so it's the return of the main guy. And one thing I do like is, so here, and fortunately the season shows this, IMDb shows this. So here is our main guy posing for his photo in the season 1 of Squid Game for as one of the contestants. And here's that same dude posing for his season 2 photo. Which kind of sums up, like, I do like the development of his character, and the dude's a great actor. Essentially he's this like almost this semi goofy, but like, trying to do the right thing dude at the beginning. Quickly gets thrown over his head. Then here he's like almost this dude who's like, I'm gonna go in and fuck up the Squid Game in season 2.
I think of it like, because I remember I tried to watch season 1, and I got like the message and all of it. It's just kind of more of it. Just it lost me. Like it not like the line or the story or anything like that. I just like, okay, I get it, and I just kind of got.
Well, I mean, I think I definitely liked season 1 more than you, but like for me, it's like it's a cool one-shot story in my opinion.
And if it would have,
it's not a critique of capitalism. It's amazing.
It worked as that. It really worked well as that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The second one, it just seems like they're playing the hits. And there's stuff in here that I enjoyed, that I liked. But like,
so it's
I don't know.
It's a 7-episode season to lead into a final 3rd season. The games don't start until episode 3. The main characters at the beginning are the champion from the first one, and then the brother, or the cop who's looking for his brother in the Squid Game in the first season as well, who survived. They're the main characters, and then our main dude, the champion of the last Squid Game, gets wrapped up in the current round of Squid Games. And again, we're doing the same thing with the games. The first game's exactly the same, by the way. Red light, green light, exactly the same. So I'm almost like, okay, is this going to be a repeat of last season? And it's not. But even though it's not, it kind of is, because like we're just have them do these children's games over and over again. Where if you lose, you die. And there's that dude. And I do have a complaint about this. So like, episode 3 is called 001. That's because player 001 established early in this season. This isn't a twist. It's established early in the season. Player 001 is one of the rich guys who helps run the games, and he is going into the game, I don't know, to have fun or just to see what's up. It's pretty much the same thing as the old man from season 1, where he is just he's not actually in danger or anything. We see that he is this guy before episode 3 when he's introduced as being one of the game players. However, like for the first couple of episodes, they're playing it almost like he's not that guy, and they're giving him like a sad backstory and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but this guy's full of shit, right? He's full of shit, right? And then at the end, it's like he's full of shit. It's like, I knew he was full of shit. I knew
we saw this guy watching all this, drinking a scotch. Like, we know this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think this was the twist you got. Like, they're playing it like a big twist, and I'm almost like, you broadcast it beforehand.
I think that's something that I really didn't like, because I felt like they were insulting our intelligence.
Yes. Especially when you were literally showing him, like if he was like a season 1 character and we never saw him before we see him in the games in season 2. Okay, cool. Because even then I might have been like, he looks familiar, but I don't know. Because But like, no, we see him in season 2 just being like before the game start, just being the dude who's like running it and being a dick. And then we actually see him in the games. It's like, oh, he's the dick. So that twist doesn't quite work. It's like if you want to ask me, did I enjoy this season? I think the answer would be yes. But I do have major complaints about how
like
it's becoming, instead of being about critique of capitalism like season 1 was, it's becoming we got to take down the Squid Game, which is a much less interesting story because it's just a fictional universe. What were you going to say, Bobby?
I mean, yeah, and during the whole gunfight scene, this was also bothering me. Like, we already know it's him at this point, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So, why is he like? What is he firing at? First of all, like,
I just assumed he was making sure to miss, but I don't know. He was hitting some guys.
But then
too,
again, there's that
I
straight up
don't
scene
think
where he
cares.
straight up murders 8 of his guys.
Yeah, I also think he kind of doesn't care because I imagine he's just a rich piece of shit who's doing this for the funsies.
Yeah, and knowing that he's fine and he won't get busted. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, like, you know, we get one more season and it wraps up, and I'm sure, I mean, they're lining it up, so this season will end with the games going down, I'm sure. But again, I think continuing with the season past season 1 was a mistake. I do. As much as I really like season 1, it misses the point to continue this series. And even though I enjoy season 2 for the most part, I missed the point to continue the series. I will say nothing misses the point of this series more than Netflix actually doing a reality show version of this show, which is something that I keep on getting reminded of. I'm like, what the fuck?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm sure people don't die in that, but like just the very fact they're attempting.
I mean, if they're dumb enough to sign up for it, I think, you know.
But yeah, no. When Netflix said, "Hey, we're gonna do the Squid Game, the game," it's like, the fuck you say? Did you actually watch the show? Did you actually?
They're cashing in on it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. How many outfits have you seen people go to Halloween dressed as like those characters, like the pink triangle guards and stuff?
I actually haven't seen any. But
I guess you have this Halloween. Yeah.
Okay.
They were trying to walk around being intimidating, and I remember just like looking at him and going, I don't watch overhyped stuff. And they just walked away.
I won't lie. I do think it's funny because they have those outfits, and I look at them and I'm like, oh, so are you guys trying to make a PlayStation 2 controller?
Yeah. I just
every time I saw it, X. Okay, I got you.
Every time I saw it, I was like, PlayStation.
But yeah. Oh yeah, and I guess another element add to this season is between every game this time, they vote on whether or not they get in or out, whether or not they're going to duck out and take the money and run, or whether or not they will stay in the game. Like, I get the point of what they were doing with that, and I think it's a part of it's kind of interesting, but it's like it also got really redundant fairly quickly, especially with our one player who is clearly just there to sow chaos. As opposed, and also other players who just wanted to kill people. Yeah. Again,
like
I don't know if I'd say this is bad, but
in this too. But like, I love that one of the subplots really didn't go anywhere.
Which one are you thinking of?
The sniper, number 11. How she was killing the half dead ones and not allowing the other people to harvest organs.
Well, that's another thing.
It never really got resolved, and it never really came out of nowhere. First of all, because I was more like, wait, was this a plot point? Like, did I miss something? What?
So it's one like what you're just talking about. One of the guards that wears like one of those shapes on their head. She's actually one of those people, and those guys have this side hustle where they try not to kill some of the players so they can sell their organs. And she was just going around and just making sure they're all dead, and that was causing her to get in trouble with a lot of her teammates. But Yeah. I think that's something worth mentioning going into this. If you decide to go into season 2, it kind of doesn't end. It just kind of wraps up where it's at. I don't even know if it's quite worth saying a cliffhanger, because it is literally like middle of a shootout. Stuff just stops and the season ends. I will say it's definitely the low. Honestly, watching this, I do kind of feel like they probably are just doing one season, but they're splitting it up to make 2 seasons. It wouldn't surprise me if season 3 is just like 2 or 3 episodes long.
Part A,
Because
part B.
Yeah. This
and they're
feels
each like an hour, and they're each 2 hours long.
Yeah, this feels like a story. Season 2 feels like a whole complete story that ends at the Act 2. We get the Act 2 low point, and then it ends. And then we'll get Act 3 probably in a year. But yeah, if I'm just watching this, I think it's decent. I'm enjoying it. I don't know the name. I'm really bad at the characters, and the fact they're all Korean names is really, I'm gonna slaughter pronunciation. I really like the trans woman player. I thought she was probably my favorite of the people in the games outside of our main dude. And again, this it does a decent job again introducing us to players and characters that we care about. But again, it's losing something by continuing the story, I feel. So is it good? Yes, I think it's good, but it's not as good as it could have been if it was just a one shot season. That's how I feel at the end of the day. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
Yeah, like I do agree with you. I feel this would have been much better off as a one-off series.
Yeah.
I feel it tried to hit on a lot of different points than the first one, other than just capitalism bad, which is what the first one was.
Yeah, first one's pretty much capitalism bad, and this one's more just Squid Games bad, which is
it's just story. And the stuff that I felt was lacking in this, like primarily, like I like that we get a little bit of 0-1-0-0 or 0-0-1, like that. Like the fact that one of them is involved. Cool. I kind of was hoping, like how I said earlier with the gunfight, how we already knew he was bad at this point. And it's, for me, I thought that like right when he was there and the trans character had went down to go retrieve the ammo from everyone else, and he's just there, and one is there with these 2 other guys. I went, okay, what's stopping you from fucking turning at this point? Why are we still doing this charade?
Yeah,
like come on. Let's make this.
I kind of assume for shiggles, but you do have
And not only that, like I was hoping that it would happen a lot quicker than it did, because I wanted to at least get him to monologue a little for it. And I kind of that's kind of what I want to I want to know more about the people who run it. Is it some sort of secret society, or is it just like a company? What? Because it's obviously able to orchestrate a lot of moving parts and a lot of different people to help make everything move and function. So I just, that's this left a lot more unanswered. And if they're going to be taking this route with it, I really wish that they explored more of it and explained more of that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get more of that in the next season, but at the same time, I'm also happy.
Hope so, but I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that brings us to What If, Marvel season 3. What If, the final season of What If. You want to know the funny thing? I was looking over these episodes. Well, actually, kind of the funny thing is you texted me yesterday about not being able to see Sonic 3, and I was like, that's fine. I'm just kind of zoning out with my kids, starting to feel miserable. And I'm realizing, wait, I haven't seen the last 3 episodes of What If yet. So I start marathoning through those. One thing I did think it was really interesting watching through this. So What If did the thing again where it's like we have all these little stories but it all comes together at the end in one big story. But here's the funny thing. If I were to name an episode that was key to setting up the rest of the story, most part one is probably What If Howard the Duck Got Hitched, which feels like a weird one to mention, but yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of these stories I kind of like.
No, maybe What If the Emergence Destroyed Earth?
Mm-hmm. Well, there are moments in What If the Emergence Destroyed Earth and What If 1872.
Yeah,
because the watcher
that
like
kick off the last
world.
two episodes, which are the two that are the cohesive storyline. Because I kind of feel all of these are just definite standalone ones.
Yes, for the most part they are.
And out of the standalone ones, so that would be episodes 1 through 3, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a toss-up between What If Agatha Went to Hollywood and What If Red Guardian Stopped the Winter Soldier.
So I feel like What If the Red Guardian Stopped Winter Soldier was almost like a really good one for not reasons I anticipated. Because like as that story's developing, like I almost feel it ends at the good part where it's like I'm finally getting a connection between Red Guardian and Bucky as like this odd couple like duo that I'm kind of liking, and then the episode ends. It's like
yeah.
But yeah, so What If Agatha Went to Hollywood is kind of just Agatha going to Hollywood and
still being Agatha.
Yeah, and still being Agatha, still killing people for their powers. And then what if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers? Kind of a misleading title. It's more like what if the Mech Avengers fought a whole bunch of gamma monsters? Because that whole storyline is just about Hulk trying to cure himself and accidentally creating a whole bunch of gamma monsters that are giant, and therefore the Avengers have to make these mech suits to fight them. So it's Mech Avengers versus Kaiju through a lot of that episode, which is fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, my thoughts on What If pretty consistently every season are kind of like, okay, there are some stories I kind of enjoy, but like I do feel like they struggle sometimes because like the last two episodes are kind of like this big old story arc, and I'm like, part of me is like, okay, if we just want to do like an anthology series where everything's just a one shot, then do that. If we want to do a series where it's like all building up towards something towards the end, you can do that too. I personally would vote for the anthology series angle, just every episode on its own, independent. And another thing I would like for this series to have, and I'm saying this after it's ended, maybe just like play around a bit, like make these universes like one basic choice difference that changes the world. As is, I just feel like every episode's just kind of like this wild, insane madness, and it's like it's fine.
You see, I've always thought of the What If series as like, you and your friends at the lunch table.
Yeah,
in school, just being like, well, what if,
Yeah.
I mean, actually, out of all of them, there's one that I did not think I would love as much as I did. And Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop in the Old West.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah.
Like they both did their actual voices for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
let's see. So like
that was like the best part because like he committed to that Old West part.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just hilarious.
That's the thing. So like this one focuses mainly on newer characters, which to its benefit allows them to bring in a lot more of the actors. Like, when you do Iron Man, they're not going to get Rob Downey Jr. for this. Well, maybe they worked into his new contract where they're paying him like a shit ton of money to come back and play Doctor Doom. But judging from the results, I'm guessing not. But
no, because I thought one of those things that like one of those faces in the sky at the end of the first episode, I was like, holy shit, is that Doctor Doom? Are we gonna get Doctor Doom? Oh no. And then one Doctor Doomless season later.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even in the background.
But yeah, and then I will say probably my least favorite was probably What If Howard the Duck Got Hitched, because it's just Howard the Duck and Darcy trying to. It's definitely a very silly episode where they're trying to protect their egg kid, and I guess it answers the question of whether or not Howard the Duck could mate with a human woman.
Something we've been
Something
wondering.
I didn't need
first
answered.
movie.
Yeah.
We didn't need an answer, but apparently somebody's been wondering that since Caroline Ray tried to figure out that one.
Yeah. So if Howard the Duck were to actually fuck Leah Thompson, would they make a kid?
No, that wasn't Caroline. Yeah, you're right. That Leah Thompson. That's right. That was Leah Thompson, not Caroline Ray.
But yeah. And then the ending was, after we get the emergence and What If, because those both have moments where the Watcher intervenes. We have the big the big two-parter where a team of multiversal superheroes join up with the Watcher to fight the Watchers that watch the Watchers. And they all end up becoming Watchers.
I have to say, Storm with Mjolnir.
Well, that was
badass. Yeah, that was badass.
No, I did like seeing that, and I love seeing. I think it's Alison Seeley Smith who plays Storm in the original '90s cartoon in the '97.
Yes, that was her.
Great bringing her back. I was all for it. Yeah, that was pretty much the highlight for me. Like, I like bringing Kahori back as well because she was just kind of a cool character they introduced last season. But it just ends up becoming this kind of a mess of a story, I feel like, where it's like we have evil Watchers, and then all our team of heroes end up taking the Watcher's oath. So it just becomes Watchers versus Watchers in this huge battle, which potentially could be fun, and it's okay, but it doesn't thrill me.
Well, the good thing with the Howard the Duck and Darcy is that it's a great callback to the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like what if Thor were an only child?
Oh yes. Yeah, that was a fun one because that spawned in that universe.
No, I actually looked back. I looked back just so I could see the name of it because I couldn't remember the name of it. I thought it was like like Thor Goes Party, and I was like, no, what if Thor was an only child? That's right.
Yeah. So like, I guess my thoughts on What If season 3 are kind of my thoughts on the entire series. It's fine, but I don't think it ever reaches the full potential it could have with something like What If. And I feel it gets confused on whether or not it wants to just be anthology or just be like this big overarching story. And my vote is they should have leaned more into anthology, but
I did kind of like seeing this, I guess, this season's the Four Horsemen or Four Horsewomen in this point, but still I liked seeing that. And then
that was a pretty cool little team.
And then them teaming up with our Watcher, fighting the others. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet resolution too.
I mean, if nothing else, if the series brings us a version of Storm with Mjolnir just kicking ass and taking names.
And we all got to see Howard. Also got to see Howard and Darcy's kid all grown up.
Yes.
The superpower that, holy crap, that was awesome.
But okay. I guess I'd be my overall review of the What If series. It's okay.
It was good. It was quite enjoyable.
Let's see. Anything you want to add, or should we go to Doctor Who?
No. Well, really quick, let's look at the comments, see what we got here. So talking about
comments.
Yeah, let's talk to the people who patiently waited to watch us today and not yesterday.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Oh yeah, I did want to say, Maestro, thanks for becoming a member. I did notice that yesterday when I was delaying stuff.
Thank you. Also, if you haven't yet, give the podcast channel a like and a follow.
Yes, whatever channel you're on, give that channel a like and subscribe. Go ahead and double check because I've noticed a lot of my stuff. I'm like not subscribed to stuff. I'm like, oh well, I need to subscribe. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Organized Chaos Podcast, Bobby Quarters, 3 different channels. Go check them out.
Yeah, you could open up 3 tabs, one of each, and hear us in like, some sort of horrendous unison.
Yes, yes. It will just become a mess, and your bandwidth
Yeah.
will get destroyed. But you know what? We'll get the views, so we
Destroyed, but
appreciate
it's
you.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fine.
Matt Walsh made a video about Sonic. Oh, bless
Apparently, I saw people talking about that. I haven't gotten over it yet.
bless his heart.
He loves to talk about like fucking pop culture stuff and just the worst takes possible. Of course, he has the worst takes on literally everything possible.
Well, I mean, he's what I like to call somebody who does bad faith arguments.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the Daily Wire. That's their bread and
It
butter.
is. And to me, it's not even like it. It's the equivalent of that. To me, it's the equivalent of that meme, with like the guy sitting down drinking a cup of coffee saying, "Prove me wrong." Just that.
Yeah.
But also, I tend to find people with that attitude on things are usually just so far up their own ass with their own bullshit that, talking any sense of logic to them is just a waste of time.
Well, I mean, the prove me wrong meme you're talking about, the person who classically sits at the table in that meme is fucking Steven Crowder.
Yes, I know.
Who is just like Matt Walsh. It was just like,
I know.
Just a terrible, terrible person.
He's a scumbag. Yes, he is definitely a scumbag.
But are we ready for Doctor Who?
Yeah. Let's.
Okay. Doctor Who holiday special premiering Christmas Day. So I guess it's been over a week now, but
yeah,
we'll go ahead and talk about it. I'm not sure when we're getting another Doctor Who episode, but we can take a moment and talk about the holiday special because
this one definitely. Yeah. Well, I was a little hopeful at first because in my opinion, and maybe you'll agree with me on this, Bob, but I think it's going to be a great Doctor Who episode if it opens up England 1940.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, World War II one? Oh, awesome. This is going to be great.
Well, God, my feelings on this episode are so mixed. I will say, I think this one actually has a really cool setup. It's a Stephen Moffat story. So like the setup being cool kind of goes with it. But
I mean, yeah. And also what gave it away for me was the World War II thing.
Yeah. So like it opens with the Doctor going to a whole bunch of time periods with like an order, like a breakfast order, just like, oh, is this for you? Oh, is this for you? And then that's kind of the teaser. And then we open up on it's shortly before that where the Doctor is just stepping out of his TARDIS and he's in like this hotel, but it's not quite a normal hotel. It's like a time hotel where people can go and take vacations in different time periods, only when the time portal is open. And kind of the setup was like he was going through different doors with that order. But it all gets complicated when there's like this suitcase that essentially you'll have this guy.
Sentient?
Yeah, it's a suitcase that like the Doctor, I want to say it's Trevor. Doctor talks to one of the bellhops named Trevor, and he gets him to help him out because he's investigating something. And the bellhop comes across this guy who's acting kind of evil, and he's carrying this suitcase. And then the suitcase guy hands it to the bellhop. The bellhop takes it, and you see just how he grabs the suitcase, and all of a sudden this handcuff comes wrapping around his hand, and then the other guy just kind of collapses and dissolves. And then you see the bellhop's personality get like taken over by the suitcase. And it's like, oh, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
I was like, that's when I was like, okay, you have
I was kind of on board when that happened. I was like, oh shit, that's wild.
This is cool. I was like, all right, this is cool. Yeah.
And then we meet Joy fairly quickly. She's one of the ones who happens to be in the room that the Doctor, when he's going through different rooms with the breakfast order. She's in one of the rooms.
She's in an actual hotel in London in the year 2024.
Yeah. And she ends up with the suitcase on her. And it becomes this case of, whoa, how are we going to get this suitcase off of her? And the Doctor quickly figures out, okay, so one thing that we can do to activate it is if we can like activate like her fear response, she can override the suitcase. But for the most part, the suitcase has control of her. But then, to get the suitcase off, he has to figure out the code, and then he comes running in. A future version of the Doctor comes running in with the code. He tells him the code and releases it, and then she goes off the future Doctor, and then the Doctor we've been following was like, "Wait, how do we end up here?" And he's like, "You gotta go through it. You gotta go through it." So we end up with the Doctor just
And he's
spending
like,
a year
"See, this
in
is why
this
everybody
hotel.
hates you. Yeah, this is why
Yeah.
everyone hates you." And it's like, yep.
And honestly, I kind of like that time where he just spends a year in this hotel, and I feel like Joy kind of gets overshadowed a bit by Anita, who ends up being like his friend at the hotel throughout most of it.
Yeah.
And they end up having a fairly good like relationship, and then the Doctor pops in a year later and says the code, and then Joy's like, "Wait, how did you learn the code during that time?" And he's like, "I remembered me saying it." It's like, okay, we are embracing the paradox. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it gets like, this is standard Doctor Who. It gets weird, but then it gets really weird because when we end up with a T-Rex eating the suitcase, and then it's decided that the suitcase is like a star or something, and they're going off, and Joy's going to go off with the suitcase, and so listen, here's my thoughts on this episode.
Typical Doctor Who,
I think
man.
it is a cool setup, and it actually does a decent job of keeping itself on the rails for most of the story, and I'm kind of on board with it. And I feel towards the end it just falls off the rails for me, and I'm not thrilled with it at the end. But I like a lot of the setup. I like a lot of the ideas in this episode.
Yeah, let's do.
I don't know if I'd quite say a bad review, but like I will say, I don't think the ending quite planted the landing. Bobby, what are your thoughts?
I agree with you. I don't think I kind of think they stuck the landing a little bit, but overall, I enjoyed the story they told.
Yeah,
like I really liked the concept of that. Time hotel. I thought that was just.
I like the concept of the time hotel. I like the concept of the suitcase. So that's not even something I was really like. They're carrying around a suitcase. Like, hey, what's in that suitcase? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, that suitcase is some sort of fucking entity. That's fucked up.
I thought that was pretty.
I thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, like I just kind of think it went off the rails really quickly because for me it was just kind of like, oh, we're in space again. Oh, she's a star.
Yeah.
Oh, she's she's the Christmas star.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, okay, this is what we're doing. Sure.
I kind of was waiting for Mickey to pop out at the end and go, oh,
yeah. Make me money, bitch.
Oh. But yeah. Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah. I like I said, like if at the end of the day I like all of this, but the last 10 minutes, that is still, in my opinion, solid. That's 45 minutes of entertaining.
That's still like a great Doctor Who episode, yeah.
Yeah. And then the last 10 minutes it goes off the rails. Well. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's almost indicative of the last season, where it's like I feel like they did a pretty solid job, and it definitely goes off the rails at the end. But it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I agree. It was a good season. Just what the hell happened at the end there?
Yeah, the ending was just like, what the fuck? It was such a cool setup too, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
What are we doing, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Doctor Who. And again, I will state this for the millionth time: Ncuti Gatwa, I think, is a very good actor, and I think he works as the Doctor. I don't care what the chuds say. I also am getting sick of the argument that he's over emotional. The Doctor is sometimes emotional. Every actor brings his own interpretation of the character to the role.
I'm sorry, have they not
deal
watched
with
a
it?
David Tennant episode or a Matt Smith episode?
Yes. David Tennant got pretty fucking emotional. Shit.
Through most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt Smith definitely had moments too. It's like, I don't know what the heck show these guys are watching, but yeah. I like this more than I disliked it. I just didn't think the ending landed. But it's good. It's good. And I think anything else you want to add, Bobby, or is that our show?
I think that's it.
All right, let me dig up next week here. Give me just a moment. I guess real quick, talking about we are planning an initiative stream tomorrow. We do not have a specific time set up yet, but will be happening tomorrow. And then I will have a solo stream on Thursday. And then on January 13th, this podcast, we will be talking about Captain America 1979, starring the epic Reb Brown. And then we will be talking about the 2020 Invisible Man, the movie that came out very briefly before the theater shut down for COVID. I think that might have been the last movie I saw before everything shut down for COVID. But I remember liking it, so we'll revisit it then. And then we'll be wrapping up season 4 Discovery. Yes. That's our show.
Yeah, Discovery.
Yay! Hey, I'm enjoying it, and we will
Deep hurting. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Soon.
Don't worry. I've already made my payback on the schedule.
Ooh, okay. That sounds like fun.
Have you seen it yet?
Which one are you talking about?
The entire show that I've already scheduled for August.
Ooh,
August 11th.
Oh,
to be exact.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Yeah. That looks awful. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm happy you're on board.
Yeah.
Remember, we got to say only nice things about the man.
Oh, that's not happening. There's no
of
way.
Course not. Of course not. No, I have nothing nice to say about him.
That
either.
will be fun, though. That one.
All right, cool. Now just know, like, we're not going to give it away of what it is. I want this one to be a surprise.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. It's going to be my birthday special.
Hey, is that your birthday show?
Well, August 12th is my birthday. So
Okay. Okay. That is the actual day for that. Yeah, so that is legit. Oh, you have such a close birthday with him, brother.
Shut up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no. I got nothing else. I would love to see everyone next week. Yes, that's right. Into Kevin Bacon always does it better because he's Kevin Bacon.
Yes. That is Kevin Bacon. We all know this, N2.
Yeah.
Everything's better with bacon. That's where that expression comes from.
Yeah.
They mean Kevin Bacon. What else do you think it means?
6 degrees of deliciousness. That's what they mean.
True. So if we're following IMDb, I worked on The Dead Matter, which had Tom Savini, who worked on the original Friday the 13th with Kevin Bacon. So there's my degrees of Kevin Bacon.
I bought a Bacon Brothers CD that he at one point recorded. So that's mine.
I haven't done that, so hey.
I was surprised when I saw it. I was like, the Bacon Brothers, that's a sweet name. I turned around, saw him. I was like, no fucking way. No fucking way. Oh my God, I'm buying this. No fucking way.
Well, with that, I think we will go ahead and sign out.
Yeah. Take it
guys,
easy.
Party on. Be excellent to each other. And live stream will begin soon. Hopefully, I'm feeling better tomorrow. I plan on sleeping most of the day.
You should.
Once I wrap this up. But yeah. Party on, guys. Be excellent to each other.
Take care.